And I'm Caitlin, and today we are discussing books that have been recommended to us to do for future episodes.
Yeah, so whether they were emailed in or messaged in on Instagram, we're super excited to go over them with y'all. So the first one is the Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy. So there are actually there's going to be 4 books in this series. I've read the first 3. Caitlin has not, though. So super excited to possibly be doing these in the future. The first one is called Guild, and we're going off of the Goodreads ratings, which is all that matters in the world. So Guild received a 3.67 stars on Goodreads. And the first book covers the myth of King Midas reimagined. So according to Goodreads, this compelling adult fantasy series is as addictive as it is unexpected, with romance, intrigue, and danger. The gilded world of Aurea will grip you from the very first page.
Ooh, I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
I like the idea of the story. I was reading a little bit more of the actual description on there. Yeah, I will be reading these.
Yeah,
and I like how all of the books are G words, yes. Because the second book is Glint.
It's all about gold.
Yeah, so it makes sense that like gold is a G word too. And it received 4.25 stars on Goodreads. So that's a pretty highly rated book right there. It says, this is the captivating second book of the Plated Prisoner series. It's an adult epic fantasy story blending romance, intrigue, and beautiful imagery. Return to the seductive story of magic inspired by the myth of King Midas and get caught up in the world of Aurea.
So the third book is Gleam, and it has a 4.51 stars on Goodreads, and it's because it's the best in the series until the 4th one comes out next month. But it's the 3rd installment of the book, and basically it is choosing between 3 lovers. It's a wild ride from start to finish with lots of twists and turns, leaves you in a really crazy cliffhanger at the end. Super exciting. And hopefully it picks up right where it left off on June 18th.
I'm excited to read this series. Even Tabby has recommended these to me as well. Mm-hmm. So I think this is something we had already planned to do, but I'm super glad that there are people who would be interested in listening to that episode.
Yeah, and the 4th one's called Glow, by the way, if you want to add that to your TBR.
Oh, yes. Everyone go add it right now. Make Raven Kennedy happy. The next series that was recommended to us, I'm not going to lie to y'all, it was kind of recommended as a joke, like I can tell. But hey, we'll read anything and everything. So I think we do plan, now that we know these books exist, we fully plan to tell you all about them. So these books were written by Kendall and Kylie Jenner. There are 2 books in the series. The first one's called Rebels, City of Indra, and it has 2.96 stars on Goodreads.
Whopping 2.9.
Whopping. So it says Kendall and Kylie Jenner stars on the hit reality show Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Now I think it's just called Kardashians. If you're familiar,
you have to subscribe to it on HBO.
Yeah, go get that bag, Kris Jenner. So it says they present their debut novel, a thrilling dystopian story about 2 superpowered girls who embark on a journey together. And then the second novel in the series is called Time of the Twins. And it's a little bit better, apparently, because it got a 3.17 star rating. And it says, with unforgettable characters and action-packed pace and the sparks of new romance, the Jenner sisters have created a page-turning, heart-stopping adventure that will leave you wanting more. We will see.
I can't imagine that's true, but I am willing to give it a shot.
Yeah, like absolutely. We'll read anything, give it an open mind and an open heart, and we'll see if it surprises us. You never know.
The next book series that was recommended to us is Written in the Stars, and it's by Alexandria Bellefleur. And the first one received a 3.92 on Goodreads. With nods to Bridget Jones and Pride and Prejudice, a charming Own Voices queer rom-com debut about a free-spirited social media astrologer who agrees to a fake relationship with an uptight actuary until New Year's Eve, with results not even the stars could predict. Love that. A bunch of tropes that I enjoy. Fake dating. We love a good LGBTQ series. You don't see that often. We love Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah, so one of my favorites. And then this is a trilogy. So they're all kind of standalone novels, but they're related. All the characters are related. So the second novel is Hang the Moon, which is 3.88 stars. In a delightful follow-up to Written in the Stars, Alexandria Bellflower delivers another hashtag own voices. I need to look up
what is own voices? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, let us know. We can also look it up, but I'm
maybe that's what
curious
the
to hear from
series,
you.
like maybe that's what the trilogy is called.
Oh, maybe. Hashtag own voices. Queer rom-com about a hopeless romantic who vows to show his childhood crush that romance isn't dead by recreating iconic dates from his favorite films, which that's right up my alley.
Yeah, I love that. They sound cute.
Hey guys, future Caitlin here, just adding to this little conversation. I looked up the hashtag own voices because I was curious and I thought that it needed further explained here. So, hashtag own voices is a term that was coined by young adult author Corinne Dyvis. That's Duyvis. So I did Google how to pronounce it. Sorry if I mispronounced it. But this term refers to books that are about characters from underrepresented or marginalized groups in which the author shares the same identity. So hashtag own voices means that the author is writing about groups of people with which they identify themselves. So that makes the Written in the Stars series that much more enjoyable to me. And I would love to look up the hashtag own voices genre just to find some more books to read. And I recommend that you all do the same.
And then the third one is called Count Your Lucky Stars. Do you see a theme? Because I do. And it received the highest rating out of all of them at a 4.06. And it's following Written in the Stars and Hang the Moon. National bestselling author Alexandria Bellflower pens another steamy queer rom-com about former best friends who might be each other's second chance at love. See, I don't love second chance books, but I would give it a shot.
Yeah, and that is
it depends on what the second chance is for.
Yeah, and this one I feel like makes it a little bit different because this second chance revolves around the fact that they would have been a queer couple, and so I think that is kind of the obstacle. So it's a little less cliche.
Love that. I mean? Okay, that makes sense.
Like, there's kind of like
a tragic break between them that
they're
not back together. Okay.
Yeah, it's like there's a legitimate reason that they didn't work out the first time.
Okay, not like you lost my trust and you'll have to work to get it back again. I hate those. Yeah. So the next series that we're going to be covering, or that we were recommended, we may cover it, is the Folk of the Air series, and it's by Holly Black. And Holly Black actually just released her first debut new adult romance novel, so everyone go check that out too. We're excited to read it. This is definitely more of like a young adult series from what I've seen, but I will be willing to break away from romance to read it because it's about fairies, and who doesn't love fairies? So the story follows the journey of mortal girl Jude Duarte and fairy prince Carden Greenbrier as they navigate the world of hate, betrayal, and contempt, along with feelings for each other. So it's a trilogy. The first one is called The Cruel Prince. It received a 4.1 on Goodreads. The second is The Wicked King with a 4.3, and then The Queen of Nothing with a 4.3 as well.
You should get Goodreads if you guys don't have Goodreads. 100%.
Yeah, if you don't have Goodreads and you're listening to this podcast, like, what have you even been doing? We use it every episode.
Oh, yeah. And it's 100% free. And it's great because it lets you log the books that you've read. You can put what dates you read them. You can write reviews.
Reading challenges.
Yeah. And you can see what your friends are up to, too. Follow your friends. Follow us. We'll follow you back, maybe. Just send us a little message and we'll just be like, hey, I listened to the show. And we'll follow you back. I'd love to see what you guys are up to.
Yeah.
The next series that was recommended to us is the Winston Brothers series by Penny Reed. So the description says, everyone in Green Valley, Tennessee knows that the 6 bearded Winston brothers have been imbued with an unfair share of charm and charisma and are prone to mischief.
So that's it.
There are quite a few. So in order, they are Truth or Beard, 3.9 stars. Grin and Beard It, 4.1 stars. Beard Science, 4.4 stars. Beard and Waiting, 4 stars. Beard and Mind, 4.2 stars. Beard and Hiding, 4.2 stars. Dr. Strange Beard, 4 stars. Beard and Hiding, yeah. Beard With Me, 4.3 stars. And Beard's Necessities, 4.2 stars.
So if you see the trend.
Yeah, they got beards, okay? They're glorious beards. And
Oh, okay. We
So
just got another recommendation on the fly that we're going to go ahead and cover.
All right, we got a few more here. Okay, so the next recommendation is called Dark Matter by Blake Crouch and illustrated by Hilary Clark. So it's rated 4.12 stars. And it says Jason Dessen is walking home through the chilly Chicago streets one night, looking forward to a quiet evening in front of the fireplace with his wife, Daniela, and their son, Charlie, when his reality shatters. So it is marked as a thriller / science fiction, fantasy, suspense novel.
TV show, too.
Ooh, a TV show. That's something a little different than what we normally do. So I am very interested in that one.
Yeah, thanks, Holly.
Yeah, and the next recommendation by Holly is one that I have heard of before, and I actually have it on my TBR. I'm so excited to read it in the future. So it is called Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia.
Ooh.
And it is, it's a horror, like mystery thriller.
Love that.
Yeah, so it says, after receiving a frantic letter from her newlywed cousin begging for someone to save her from a mysterious doom, Naomi Taboada, Taboada heads to High Place, a distant house in the Mexican countryside. She is not sure what she will find. Her cousin's husband, a handsome Englishman, is a stranger, and Noemi knows little about the region. And it goes on to say that the world of High Place is terrifying yet seductive. So I'm very interested in that one. And then a couple more recommendations here by Holly.
Thanks, Holly.
Yeah, thanks, Holly. Love you. Love you so much. The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna is rated 4.37 stars. And it says, Alaska, 1974, unpredictable, unforgiving, untamed. For a family in crisis, the ultimate test of survival. So that one is interesting. Kristen Hanna, she also wrote about, I think she wrote a book called The Four Winds, and I think it's about the Dust Bowl. But I
love reading about the Dust Bowl. That is such an interesting time in U.S. history.
It is, yeah.
Isn't that what the Grapes of Wrath is about?
Yeah, but I hate the Grapes.
Yeah, it's a terrible book.
Yeah, so The Four Winds takes place, now I'm just talking about a different book that wasn't recommended, but we still might do it, and it's 4.31 stars. So it says, Texas, 1934. Millions are out of work, and drought has broken the Great Plains. Farmers are fighting to keep their land and their livelihoods as the crops are failing, water is drying up, and dust threatens to bury them all. One of the darkest periods of the Great Depression, the Dust Bowl era, has arrived with a vengeance. So, yeah, very interesting historical fiction novels by Kristen Hanna. And then lastly, Holly recommended a book that I have read. It is 1,000 Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini. And I might be saying that wrong.
I have that on my TBR, actually.
Oh, it's very good.
Is it?
Yeah,
that's the guy who wrote The Kite, or did he write The Kite Runner?
The Kite Runner, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, same author. So this is 4.4 stars. It's a beautiful novel. It's so sad. So is The Kite Runner, but it's something I think everyone should read. Another historical fiction novel. It says, 1,000 Splendid Suns is a breathtaking story set against the volatile events of Afghanistan's last 30 years, from the Soviet invasion to the reign of the Taliban to post-Taliban rebuilding that puts the violence, fear, hope, and faith of this country in intimate human terms. That is the longest sentence I've ever read. Mm-hmm. It's a tale of two generations of characters brought jarringly together by the tragic sweep of war, where personal lives, the struggle to survive, raise a family, find happiness, are inextricable from the history playing out around them. So again, another historical fiction novel.
I love historical fiction.
Me too. And I think that it's always something that's relatable to people because oftentimes it feels like the characters are much more real. Compared to our usual rom-com, fantasy books that we read, everything is much more real, gritty, and relatable in those types of novels. So
Awesome. Well, those are all some really great recommendations. I'm super excited to add those to the rotation of what we're doing, and hopefully we'll get to all of them.
Yeah, I'm sure that we will eventually. I plan to do this until I die.
Yeah,
never
you're
get
not getting rid of
me.
us that easy.
So if you have anything else that we haven't mentioned, we haven't covered, and you think we should, go ahead and email us or
There's so many
message us.
books.
Yes, and there's so many that we haven't heard of, I'm sure of it. And tune in next week as we discuss the Shadow and Bone trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. We have a lot to say. We have so much that we will be chatting about.
Leigh, it's nothing against you. It's nothing against you.
It's not personal.
It's just we'll see y'all next week. So so tune in, and as always,
Let's get lit.